Hey there, booktube. Noah. The channel is Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. Thank you for stopping by again. So, I've taken a little hiatus. It's been maybe a week since a video. I like to be a little more consistent with that than that. But I was just exhausted this last weekend and stuff. My job is very demanding. And so I just got my butt kicked, and took time to recuperate and rest, and just I didn't have the mental effort there to kind of plan out some videos. So I appreciate you kind of going with the flow with me. Happy May Midrash, maybe Midrash, guys. It's a very fun reading challenge started by Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse, hosted by Steve Donahue and the Little Prairie Library. Very cool. You guys rock. And so I'm just going to touch on those kind of things and what my ideas going forward are. And then a quick kind of, I want to throw it out there to see if anybody can give me a little pointer in the right direction as to a question I have on maybe cataloging your own books. I don't know, who does that kind of thing or who doesn't. Some of you guys out there have pretty big libraries, and some of y'all have, very modest libraries. So ones who have a whole lot of books might be able to give me some pointers. So for maybe Midrash, I'm reading the Gethsemane Encounter. This is a catalog, like a chronicle of a week with Buddhist and Christian monastics in the Abbey at Gethsemane, the Abbey where Thomas Merton lived and practiced. So I'm going to be reading Contemplative Prayer and Thoughts in Solitude as well, while I am doing that for maybe Midrash. And my fiction pick for maybe Midrash is the Gospel According to Jesus Christ. There is a contributor, not a content creator, but someone who is active in comments on BookTube and taking part in maybe Midrash. Carolina and I are going to be doing this, and so I would just wanted to reach out to say if anybody else is doing the Gospel According to Jesus Christ by Jose Saramago here for your maybe Midrash fiction pick, leave me a comment, and there's a little group on Voxer that we're gonna be able to discuss our thoughts going through it. Very loose. We don't have like an itinerary set up, and we're not very structured as far as getting to a certain place by a certain time. But I just wanted to have a forum where we could talk about the ideas that come up when we experience this novel. So going forward, I kind of thought that the Gethsemane encounter here, from what I've seen already, it's going to allow me to bring up some Buddhist ideas in the light of our Western spirituality, exoteric and esoteric. So, Christy Louise at Dostoevsky in Space and I, after May Midrash, maybe in June, the beginning of June, are going to start the Threefold Lotus Sutra. Now, we're not going to read all three, though I do recommend it. We're going to focus on the Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the Wonderful Law. That's how it's translated here. It is also translated as simply the White Lotus Sutra, and also translated as the Lotus Sutra of the Real Truth. Spiritual truth, not, actual physical truth of like physics or something like this. So I wanted to be clear about that. But this is, we're going to go through this, and this is a wonderful, wonderful sutra that touches on everything. and it's told in prose and in verse. What it goes through in prose, it immediately goes through again in verse. Beautiful poetry. So it is very accessible and something that is great. So we're going to kick that off, and I wanted to put that out there and invite anybody along that that might have an interest there to maybe, get in, maybe think about joining in on that. But that's going to allow me, I think, going forward, I want to make some videos that are like a Buddhist exploration, a Christian or a Western. I'm an American. I was raised here in the South, in Georgia, and so, here's Buddhist explorations by, one of, an American, one of us, and so I'm gonna start doing a series on that kind of thing, and it just made me think, because I'm like, well, the normal kind of things, that you might hear in school. What is Buddhism about? Well, the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Those are the things that are shown in school, and they're valid. They're totally valid, and they're fine. But but Buddhism is a lot more than that, and the best formulation of Buddhism is something called the Six Perfections. A perfection is something, a virtue. A perfection is first off a virtue, and the second thing about a perfection is that it can never be exhausted. So one perfection is giving. You can always give. You can give under any circumstances. Nobody can ever take away your ability to give. And your giving is inexhaustible. You can give and give and give and give until, do you ever get to a point where there's nothing left to give? I would argue that you can't. So, kindness, that's another one. Patience. Patience is a big one. Okay, so patience is something that is a perfection, just like I'm saying. You can do it under any circumstances. No one could ever take away your ability to do it, and that's just that. So these kind of giving, patience, kindness, concentration, wisdom, and there's one more that I'm not, just calling to mind right offhand. But these kind of things, concentration. You can practice concentration at any time. Mindfulness. So the Six Perfections is a much more perceptive formulation of what Buddhism is as a whole. But you can't get away from independent co-origination, which is the chain of events that cause our grasping, that cause our being, our becoming, and our being in the world. So those kind of things, and I'll touch on those kind of things in a more systematic manner. But I think that going forward, just any kind of questions or any kind of specific things that are interesting or that you want to know more about Buddhism, leave me a comment, because then it'll give me something to go on for formulating that kind of thing going forward. And I'll probably kick that off in June sometime, through doing the White Lotus Sutra readings. I'll do some videos on certain points that I'm getting to there. That'll give me some structure, and then I'll be able to just formulate those videos. And hopefully it'll be a lot of fun for everybody, for sure. I also wanted to, the last thing then, is to throw out, I don't know if anybody catalogs their own books, but I came across an app called My Library. And the app allows me to scan the the ISBN, scan this, and it'll pull up all the information about the book, and then I can just save it, and it'll save, and I can catalog my books that way. And if I can't scan it, then I can put it in manually. And it seems like, whatever that I've scanned that actually has the barcode there, is actually pulling up very, very well. But I've only done one shelf so far just to test it out. And I wanted to see if anybody used any kind of app like that, or any kind of program to catalog their books, because I can see a lot of benefits for me having my library just in a catalog like that, where I can search certain things, or see, put a wish list together, maybe on that. So any of you guys that have these huge libraries, I would be interested to know how you keep it organized. I'm very good at remembering books that I have, and remembering books that I don't have. But I think I'm getting to a point now where I have so many books, and I've read so many books that I, didn't keep, that sometimes, or I might have lent them out and then don't remember that I lent them, and then think that it's on the shelf or whatever. So just drop me a line, guys. Thank you for joining me on this video. I hope everybody's doing good and into a good May. It is hot, sunny, and beautiful outside here in Georgia. So it's just been a pleasure so far. And happy maybe Midrash once again. Catch y'all on the next one. Bye bye, BookTube.